often Cotton Eye Joe. I've been married long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? Been often Cotton Eye Joe. I've been married long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? I've been married long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? Been often Cotton Eye Joe. I've been married long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, their boats passing in. Gay proof
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the TRJKarting.com Blazing Pedals K&N Series live right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. My name is Chris, and joining me in the booth tonight, my good friend Rick Hammond Jr. Rick, how are you tonight, brother?
Hey, brother, I'm doing good. It's Sunday night here. We're with the Blazing Pedals, TRJKarting.com drivers at Indy, man. I'm excited. Old track, lots of history at this track, man. And I think we're in for a good show here. 96 laps tonight. Man, I'm ready.
96 laps is the scheduled distance. Remember, it is stage racing, lap 30, lap 60, and then it's shootout to the end, lap 96. I want to thank Tim and Baby Yoda out there already saying hi out there in chat. We really do appreciate it, guys. And now let's go ahead, Rick, because we kind of got, well, we got a little screwed last week. We're going to go ahead and put it that way. Last week, we tried to get it out there, and as soon as we brought Terry up, the session got advanced. We weren't able to talk to anybody. Let's right that ship right now. Let's get Terry on up here so he can walk down pit road.
Who moved me?
Terry Foster. It's Chris and Rick up in the booth. How you doing, brother?
Good, man. Good out here enjoying this Indianapolis track, buddy. I love this thing.
Well, I was following you along, actually, so I know you're enjoying it. 12th quickest here so far during practice. But listen, last week, we kind of got screwed for walking down the pit road. So I wanted to make sure that didn't happen again this week, Terry. So I'm going to let you get your car into your pit box, which you've done now. And I want to figure out who it is that you want to talk to. And, brother, I've left you enough time. If you want to, you can do too.
Well, I definitely want to get Rick Thompson in, if you could get him first.
Rick Thompson is in. Terry, go ahead.
Hey, Rick, you got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, I know you and I have done an interview already once this season, but it was more on the family thing and Mafia racing stuff. But now, buddy, we're 20 races into this season. We got a whole lot left to go. You're sitting, I believe, in 8th place at 56 points behind Corey Sherman. Neither one of you has a win yet. Where are we going here forward, bud? I mean, you haven't had a race win, but, man, you've been up front so many doggone times.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping for a race win. Obviously, I've had a little bit of bad luck every time I get up there, but I feel like I've been competitive and I've been able to run up front with the front guys. A little bit of strategy has bit me here and there, but for the most part, I feel like we've been trying to figure out these segment things. Is kind of new to us for our team, and trying to work through as best we can. Obviously, I mean, trying to get ready for the playoffs.
Oh, definitely. I mean, right now you're definitely in the playoffs. You with Corey Sherman and Brian Dees. The three of you guys. I just looked again. I think you three guys are in the top 9 out of everybody. Yeah, I mean, Speed Mafia, Chris, Rick. I know Blazing Pedals. We love these guys. I mean, I'm glad they're on board with us. They give nothing but respect, but I think they give the same thing too. We give the same thing back to them guys. Rick, I have one question for you.
Sure.
Is your dad got a really, really good sense of humor? I need to know.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good sense of humor.
Okay, well, my teammate last week, Corey Sherman, he made not a paint scheme, but took a picture and done some editing to it with your dad passing my crashed car. So I'm going to put that in Discord later on. I want you guys to kind of look at that, and it's a little funny about your dad passing me for 20th. So it's going to be, it's funny.
He'll get a kick out of that for sure.
It's going to be funny. It is funny, man. So, but Chris and Rick, that's all I have for him. If you got something for him, but I do have another one we can pull in.
Actually, I am all set. Rick, I've seen you up front quite a bit, bud. Right now, you're 10th quickest in the practice, so get back out there because you lost a spot. I want you to get back out there and find that speed back up again.
I appreciate it, man. I'll get back out there.
All right, buddy. Good luck tonight.
Thanks.
Terry, before you bring somebody out, I have something for you. Last week
Yeah.
was not a great week for you.
No, sir.
What happened at the beginning of the race? What happened at the end of the race? What the heck was going on?
Okay, beginning of the race, I don't know what the weather is where you guys are at, but last Sunday, buddy, it was hotter than blazes here. And I'm in a room with just a small fan blowing, so I don't have a whole lot of air in here. And it was probably every bit of 95 or 100 degrees in this room. And I think my computer overheated and just shut off on me right as we was taking the pace lap.
Oh, well.
That's a bummer. You
Yeah.
need a White Claw. That's what you need. You just need a White
Yeah,
Claw.
that's what I should have done, Rick, right? But you know what, guys? After I got the car settled in and I got all that out of my mind, man, I had a fast car. It was out there running. I was keeping up with everybody. It just, I could not come back from 3 to 6 laps being down.
Well, yeah, that's a tough spot to be in. I mean, there weren't a lot of cautions last week, and Pocono, it is a tricky track, but your car did look good, man. So hopefully you're ready tonight, man. I'm excited now. Of course, you saw, and for the record, I'm sure you watched the race over. Maybe not as much as you used to because you don't have to see who goes down the pits and stuff. But we got a chance to talk with Aaron Bockover. You said that he doesn't like to chat, but we couldn't get him to stop talking.
Once you get him going, he doesn't shut up. So yeah.
It was great to have him there, man. I can't wait. And now we got to do a grid walk with him at some point. We really do.
Yeah, I'll talk to Aaron later on this week, and I'll ask him to come in with me because, he's doing fantastic. I know both those guys. I'm very proud of both of them. Corey, we think we figured out what his computer problem's been. At about 8:30 every night, something happens to his computer, and he thinks he has it figured out. So we'll see at 8:30 tonight if he gets disconnected or not.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, right now the Shermanator is in 7th position, fastest in practice here, and Aaron, we told Aaron last week. I said, listen, you took second, that's great, but you need to keep going. You got to take this momentum, bring it to Indy, and it looks like he's doing that because right now Aaron Bockover, your other TNA Motorsports crew member or team member, is second fastest right now in practice. So that's outstanding.
And you know what? He just got the setup. I want to say this morning or yesterday.
Wow.
So he hasn't had a whole lot of time even on the track.
Well, we know that Mark does a good job with the setups, and you guys are usually pretty happy with him. So it looks like it's working for Bockover. So I would definitely be chatting with him and trying to follow him around tonight.
You know what? I try to chat with him sometimes. You know what he tells me?
Shut up, Terry. I'm trying to drive.
Well, not in those exact words. Awful damn close to it.
Hey, Terry, got to tell you, Tim out in chat has got you to win this race already. So you've got somebody out there pulling for you, buddy. You're going to have to pull a rabbit out of the hat. Now, we've got less than 10 minutes to go, and you said you may have somebody else to talk to. My friend, who is it? And let's get him up here.
I tell you what, pull in Brian Dees. I can go over his numbers with him a little bit. He's sitting in 9th place.
Brian Dees, the driver of the number 17, and Terry, he's all yours.
Brian, you got me?
I got you.
Hey, buddy, I know I didn't tell you was coming in because I didn't think I was going to have time to bring another guy in. Buddy, you're sitting in 9th place. You're 42 points behind Rick Thompson there. You, Rick Thompson, Corey Sherman, not without a win yet, going without a win yet. We're going to see Brian Dees cross that finish line first sometime this season before we get to the playoffs.
Man, I've been trying for it. I can't seem to figure out a way to do it. But we'll see.
I know we got a tough field, man. We got some fast guys out here, that's for sure. But so any kind of strategy for tonight? I didn't see where you're sitting at. Maybe Rick or Chris can tell me where you're sitting at right now.
Right now, 4th fastest on the practice charts.
Oh hell, he's got this whip, boys.
I always hang out, see if I can come up with something for strategy, see if we can surprise somebody.
You know what, Chris and Rick, Brian's another one. We get around him, I know I can race him clean. He's going to race me clean. Brian's not one to get out here and mess around with us, but I think that's pretty much goes with the whole league anymore. I mean, we've weeded out the past, what we needed to weed out. I think that's a pretty good league here going on.
Oh, certainly the first couple, a handful of races, well, they were rough. And look, that happens. We've gotten past that. We've got better racing going on, and that's all you can ask for. And, as far as Brian goes, Brian, we've been calling your name quite a bit here in the last few weeks. So Good luck to your brother, man.
I've been
'Cause
getting accustomed to hearing that Big Bad Brian D's nickname.
there you go, brother.
Not sure where it came from, but I like it.
Well, we kind of made him up. We make a lot of them up. Cause
Hey, I'm happy that I'm mentioned enough to even get a nickname. So
there you go. All right, guys. Listen, D's, you're sitting in fourth quickest here in practice. Terry, you need to pick it up, bud. Get yourself back out on track. Get a part of this racing that's going on right now on track. This little pre-race race. And boys, we'll be talking to you later on.
Thanks a lot, guys.
All
Good luck,
right,
gentlemen.
Brian D's, Terry Foster, giving us a little talk through and what's going on out there, and I do appreciate it. Let's kick on over to, well, let's see. What do we want to talk about, Rick? How about the weather? The weather
let's
right
talk
now.
about the weather.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah, it's hot. It's damn hot.
Oh, man. Track temperature 120 degrees, and there's not a lot of banking out there, Rick. It's a very flat track where the corners are different than any other corner out there. Man, this is going to be crazy.
Yeah, it is going to be crazy, Chris. I mean, you know, it almost feels like Vermont, you know, out there on the track right now. I mean, the air temperature is only 79 degrees, but obviously it's kind of hot, a little bit humid there, 54% humidity going on out there right now. It is cloudy, so hopefully that track temperature will go down throughout the night as we race here at Indy, but right now it's actually going up. Now we're at 121 degrees, so you know, you talked about it. There's not a lot of banking on this track, so these guys, you know, they only have 3 sets of tires to use. As we see the 13 of Bennett there in the wall, the 46 going up into the wall. So we're starting to see it. Actually, Jamie Walker even up into the wall. So, you know, something that these guys have to think about. You know, it will cool down a little bit come qualifying, and you know, we're going to see that awesome open qualifying again, Chris. But it's going to keep that track temperature up for the race. So going to get kind of interested out there tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be very fun to watch these guys getting around this big 2.5 mile track. I got a question out there in chat from Baby Yoda. He's asking if I'm broadcasting for Racing for a Cause tonight. Unfortunately, no. Sunday, one of the busiest nights here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Everybody who has a league seems to be broadcasting tonight. I believe Dave's going to sneak out of his cave to go ahead and take care of Racing for a Cause tonight in their next gen service. It's going to be a good race. I definitely want everybody to check it out. The other guy that's going to be going tonight, Roger Muth. Muth's going to be in the booth with those 87 cars, and man, those things are a lot of fun.
Yeah, they are. They are.
We'll be a lot of fun.
That's our new Sunday Night
Sherman.
Ritual.
Oh man, Corey Sherman whacks right into D's, and hopefully that doesn't happen during the race. This is why these guys do this. That, you know, they kind of get used to racing around each other. A little less than 5 minutes to go here before qualifying. Qualifying a little bit different here at the Blazing Pedals. They do a 10-minute open qualifying session. All the laps you can muster, but the quickest one's the one that's going to count.
Absolutely right, Chris. And then we touched on it a little bit there with Terry, and as he's doing his grid walk, he's going through with the guys that were in, what was it, 7th and 8th place there. And something that these guys don't realize, tonight at Indy, including tonight at Indy, there's only 7 races left, Chris, before the playoffs start. So these guys have 7 weeks to get a win, to get locked into that chase, to make their moves that they have to do, get good finishes, to get above that cut line before it's all gone.
Yeah, it's going to be, look, it's closing up. That's all there's to say about it. I got Michael out there saying Dalton's paint needs to be up. Listen, I don't control the paints. Basically, I download a file. What's in the file, I put back into my paints, and that's what you see on screen. So I don't know when he got it, when it was updated, but it hasn't been updated to me. So that's the paint he's got for tonight, unfortunately. Hopefully next week he can get that new paint job showing up. No surprise at the quickest guy out there during practice. It's Dakota Todd. Didn't have the race that he was looking for last week. But Todd right now, again, proving he is one of the quickest drivers out there week in and week out, Rick. And, man, look at that best lap time. It is convincing, a 53.75.
Yeah, I mean, Dakota Todd, fast, very fast driver, Chris. He's usually at the top of the charts during practice. He's usually up there during qualifying, you know, within the first couple of rows. Another guy that we're used to seeing up there, Jamie Walker right now. Jamie Walker in the 88 sitting in 6th place right now during practice. So, but again, normal Jamie Walker fashion, he'll go out there, he'll practice. It's going to be interesting to see tonight if he qualifies or what he does. You know, Indy might not be his track that he wants to start in the back, but Dakota Todd, man, I mean, he's already locked into the chase, which is number one, which is good. So there's a lot of pressure off Todd's shoulders right now. But he's been trying to win again, and he's been so good at getting up towards the front, Chris, and staying there for a majority of the race, and then just gets tangled up into something.
Bach over in his 44, second quickest in practice here. And that comes on the heels of a pretty darn good finish last week behind him. Hey, look, it's Joseph Tice. And Tice, this is going to be his third race. The two others he was in, well, he won.
Yeah, he took over Sonoma, Chris, and dominated there. And then he's like, I don't know if I'm going to be back next week. Now, he did miss last week, which is fine. I mean, he's already stated multiple times that, you know, he can't commit to a full schedule this season, but he's going to make as many as he possibly can. So he's another one that I'm going to be looking at out there, Chris, as we broadcast this race. I mean, 96 laps here at historic Indy. I mean, it's going to be fabulous. You know, someone's kissing the bricks tonight. I don't know who it's going to be, but somebody is. And they're going to be drinking a bunch of fresh milk, I'm sure. Hopefully it's cold, because if Betty gets on that track, we're going to have cottage cheese. Oh,
no question about it. It is warm out there. Brian D is running fourth quickest in practice. Jason Powell, next driver out there, in his number 18. He's fifth quickest during this practice run. Jamie Walker, you already mentioned him, sixth quickest. Seventh is Corey Sherman. Dolan Kilroe in the 41 is eighth quickest. Marquis Smith is going to be out there. He's ninth quickest with a new paint job. He's gotten rid of the purple, went for a yellow tonight, and that's just as sharp. The 76 of Rick Thompson, we talked about him at the start of the show, and Rick Thompson back up into the 10th quickest spot. Then it's Taylor the Butcher Benjamin, Nick Okie, Terry Foster running 13th quickest, Derek Paulson 14th, rounding out the top 15 quickest here in practice. It's going to be Big Daddy Brian McRae.
Then in 16, Chris, 22, Brad Collins. He has had a heck of a season so far, and he's getting better and better each week. And I look forward to seeing that 22 to move up there during the race there. Of course, the kid, that's Ian the Hurricane Habiuk in the 16 TRJ Karting Toyota Camry. He's out there. He's in 17th position right now, with David Bennett in the 13 in 18th position. Joshua Rutherford is in 19th, and rounding out that top 20, Corey Rutherford in the 55.
Then it's Patrick Abrahamson, Casey Campbell, Derek Garrison, Fred Thompson, Noah Van Hoot. Tom Orozco did not take time. Last two drivers did not take time. Rick, that is going to do it. And now we get set to qualify here from Indianapolis. Who is going to hit the track first? Looks like it might be the 21. Nope.
I'm seeing Corey Sherman heading out there right now. Actually, a bunch of drivers are just starting to go out there. I'm looking to see some good things out of Sherman also, Chris. I mean, number one, gotta love that race car. I mean, it's iconic. Iconic. And Corey Sherman, a great dude. If you haven't yet, guys, head on over to Savage Edge Graphics. Check them out on Facebook. Go to their webpage. That's where you get all your TNA Motorsports official merchandise, which I do own some. And now I have to buy another one because we got some updated cars out there again.
Yeah, it's trying to keep up with these guys. Oh, Sherman into the wall. The 21 goes right on by. Everybody just trying to get their vehicles up to speed so they can start this 10-minute qualifying session. Casey Campbell up into the wall. This lap won't count. What's the strategy here, Rick? Is it get behind somebody and use them as a draft partner? Is it just go on your own? What's the story?
Well, I mean, I talk about this every broadcast, Chris. When you see these guys, you know, they have teams out there. I mean, we have multiple different teams. You know, we have 5-Horse Motorsports, Lost Cause Racing, MT2, Powell Racing, S&M Motorsports. We got Speed Mafia. Of course, we got TNA Motorsports. We talk about them a lot. We have the Top Flight Racing guys / Dr. Squatch. And it seems like these guys, they don't usually use that team mentality where, you know, you try to race with each other. And usually what we see and what I'm seeing here is a lot of guys are kind of just, they're leaving enough buffer in between them so it doesn't come into play. And honestly, in a way, I think that's good because these guys, during practice, they do pit parties. They already know how the cars are going to handle around other vehicles. They usually do a pit party so that way they can really feel that out. But when it comes to qualifying, it seems like everybody just kind of does their own thing. And I mean, we are seeing a couple guys. You got Brian Dees right now going around, Ty Morosco. So they're doing a little bit of racing. But if it was me out there, man, I would be like getting up with you and saying, hey, let's do this. let's get the draft in play. Let's see how our cars feel with you leading, me pushing, and vice versa. Swap it out a little bit. But these guys seem just to go out there and just do their thing.
Well, a little over 2 minutes into the qualifying session before we start seeing times come in. Rick Thompson, so far the quick man on the field, and his lap time of 54.55. So a good lap time out of Rick Thompson. Aaron Bach over second, Joe Tice third, Dakota Todd, Marquis Smith fourth and fifth.
And we got Big Brad Brian Dees in sixth position so far. Derek Paulson in seventh. Taylor the Butcher Benjamin, those two are teammates. He's going to be so far in eighth position. Brad Collins got that 22, now in 10th. We just had a new, holy cow, look who just took over the pole with a 54. Oh, no, now Todd's taking it over. But Aaron Bach over, he is fast here tonight. So Dakota Todd right now on the pole, Chris.
The differential, 5/100ths of a second between first and second. Aaron Bachhover is trying to get it done here. In third spot so far, it's the 21, just ahead of Bachhover. It's Marquis Smith in that gold and black number 21. Rick Thompson pushed all the way back down to fourth spot. Joe Tice in fifth.
The Butcher right now sitting in sixth. Yeah, go ahead, bud.
I was just going to say, you don't have a lot of time to come in and get tires and do the thing that this 10-minute session usually allows. This track, 2.5 miles. So really, you got to get your laps in, get a couple of really good ones in, hope that it sticks, right?
Well, that's the thing, Chris. I mean, that's what I would be trying to do. I wouldn't waste time going in and getting fresh tires. Usually you start out with a fresh pair once the session switches over to qualifying and you go out there. I might run a couple of laps, come in, get a set, and then, see what I can do with that. But then I would start letting my tires wear down a little bit just to see how it's going to feel during the beginning of the race. Now, we talked about it multiple times, Chris. These guys have 3 sets of tires that they can use. They can go in, they can either take 2 or they can take 4. It doesn't matter. If you take 2, you still only, that counts as a whole set. So they got to be careful with that. And what we've been seeing recently is a lot of guys will come down, they'll do a short pit, they'll get fuel only. A lot of guys, like 98% of them, I'm sure, don't take tires during that first stage. They will wait until the second stage, or if a caution allows or whatnot, and usually we see people like Dalton Kilrow. He always has a surprise in his pocket. He'll use one set all the way up through, maybe somewhere like halfway into the second stage or third stage, he'll come in, grab tires, do his thing, and then he has that extra set or two to do what he has to do. So a lot of different tire strategies. I love how they have the limited tires, and iRacing, of course, helped a lot of leagues out by making that so we can set it up in a race, and it's worked out well so far.
So a little bit of changing is going on in the top 3. Rick, Dakota Todd still holding on to that top spot. Then it's Rick Thompson, Jason Powell in the 18. This track does run very different than other tracks, and maybe what we're going to see is somebody likes it who doesn't normally run up front, or maybe some of these guys that typically run up front but maybe can't win out. Maybe it's their night.
Well, that's the thing too, Chris. I mean, you talked about it, 2.5 mile track, and what my biggest issue driving Indy, and I do like it because it is kind of cool. You got, it's kind of a rectangular shape. You got nice long front and back stretch. The corners are, nice long sweeping. But I zone out. I tend to zone out a lot on this track, and that can be dangerous. I mean, we're only doing 96 laps here tonight, but that is a lot of mileage for these sim racers. I mean, especially guys like, think of poor Terry. You said he's in a room with a little fan blowing on him. Last week you got up to 100 degrees, and I'm sure he's still dealing with that weather because, it's here now. And that, to me, that couldn't be fun.
Here now, heck, it has been, and I can't wait for it to go away, but hasn't done it yet. Don Kilrow getting back out on track. He's had a couple of issues already. He's tried to put down a lap, and yet hasn't been able to do it. Dalton Kilrow has gotten into the wall a couple of times, Rick. This race surface very hot, and that is making these cars a little bit on the tight side, hopping up into the wall.
But again, it is a little cooler now than what it was during practice, Chris. It is down to 117 degrees. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but a couple of degrees on this track really does make a difference on any track, really, and how these cars actually feel. And we already know, talking with a lot of drivers about the setup and stuff. I mean, Mark does a fantastic job with these setups. And the thing is he really makes it for the long run. So it might be kind of, I would say, squirrely in the beginning, but then it really starts dialing in the longer these guys run on the green flags and those nice long stretches. And I think we're in for a a good race here tonight.
Well, Kilroe finally able to put down a lap. It's 11th quickest. 54.73 for Dalton Kilroe. Looks like we have 5 drivers yet to come down for a lap. David Bennett would make 6, but he's out on track. Bennett looking to see what he can do with that 13. The straightaway so long. This track is huge.
It is. It is a big track.
All right, Bennett is on the hot seat now. His next lap will count. Let's see what he's got. Let's see what kind of speed he's pulling out of that 13. 178, 9, 180. 184 before he hops off the gas pedal and lets it coast through the corner down to 153, 154 somewhere before hopping back in, Rick. Very quick track, even though those corners are not banked very much.
Oh, they're not, but the Hammond Plumber, I'm guessing that's a Twitter handle, so go make sure you go and check that out. I'm sure that's probably actually Mr. Bennett himself, but he's out there. He's had a rough go with it. I've seen him bounce off the wall a few times, Chris, but he's got a good clean lap going on here.
20th
right now,
quickest.
20th quickest, yep. I think he's going to be happy with it. It looks like he's shutting it down, saying, okay.
We got a new pole sitter right now. If it were to end, it's going to be Joe Tice. Dakota Todd not on track, so unless some of these other drivers can pick up some speed, Tice might have the pole in just his 3rd race here with Blazing for Pedals. Blazing with Blazing Pedals.
Blazing Pedals, there you go.
Blah, blah, blah. Ladies and gentlemen, it's hot. What can I say? But yeah, 3rd race for Joe Tice. He's already won 2, and now he's going to be a pole sitter here for the 3rd one. My goodness.
Oh, so Ian last week did not have his dad live spotting for him, but this week I just got my normal pre-race message from Mr. Habiak. Hello, man. Mr. Habiak, hopefully you're ready for this. You got your Mylanta, you got your Moonshine. And the Hurricane didn't do too bad last week. He could have used it towards the end. But I'm sure it's going to be good to have the live spotting back here tonight. We haven't done the commercial yet, so make sure you guys head on over to trjkarting.com for all of your ZMAX kart needs.
You mean
Get
like...
out of those Predator engines. Yeah, I know you want to press the button, but I'm going to talk.
Okay.
You know, and you got to get some sim gear. You got to get, you know, these wheels, man. I mean, you pay $150, $200 for these wheels. They come with these nice coatings on them, and I like wearing my gloves for them. I mean, people laugh at me, but hey, you know, I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, I don't have the cooling system hooked up to my helmet or my my race suit
Yet.
I'm working on it, but make sure you head on over there because Tim's got all kinds of good stuff, man. Shoes, gloves, you name it. A helmet if you need it. I'm sure you can get me a cooling system. I haven't asked him yet. Of course, I haven't asked the wife yet either, but.
Well, Rick, I got to stop you now because it is time to get ready to grid these guys up for the command. It is going to be Ethan Habiak.
Driver stages.
And that is the command to add Ethan. And now we get ready to grid them up.
I love that.
The TRJKarting.com Blazing Pedal Series is excited to bring this race from Indianapolis Motor Speedway live right to your house via YouTube. On the pole tonight, it's going to be the 24 of Joseph Tice. To his outside, Dakota Todd in the 63. Starting in third spot tonight, Top Flight Racing Zone, Derek Paulson in his number 6. Speed Mafia's Rick Thompson picks up fourth spot. Jason Powell in his number 18 going to start in the 5th position. To his outside, TNA Motorsports Zone 44 of Aaron Bockover. MT2 Esport number 21, Marquis Smith going to be starting in 7th spot, and Taylor the Butcher Benjamin going to be starting to his outside. Lost Cause Racing number 41, Dalton Kilroe going to start on the inside. 9th position to his outside, TNA Motorsports Zone number 3, the Corey Sherman Machine. Starting in 11th spot, it's S&M Motorsports Zone number 17. That's Brian Dees. And in 12th spot tonight, the Speed Mafia Machine, the 22 of Brad Collins, Rick.
And then the number 1 S&M Motorsports of Ty Morosco going to be starting in 13th position on his outside. The 35 Dr. Squatch Racing of Big Daddy Brian McRae in 14th. Ian Habiuk out of the Carolinas is going to be starting that TRJKarting.com Toyota Camry in 15th position. Nick Okie, 5-horse motorsports, number 9, going to be starting in 16th. Joshua Rutherford, Work in Progress Racing, number 64, going to be 17th on his outside, Chris. It's going to be that 86 of Terry Foster, another TNA Motorsports driver. You got Corey Rutherford in the 55, also with Work in Progress Racing, going to be starting 19th. The 13 of David Bennett out of Canada is going to be starting in 20th. Casey Campbell of Speed Mafia got that 73 qualified in the 21st position on his outside. The 88 TNRJKarting.com teammate in Jamie Walker, 22nd. So we're going to see him working his way through the field. We got Derek Garrison in that 8 out of the Mid-South, going to be starting in 23rd on his outside. The 01 of Noah Van Hoot in 24th with Applebee's Motorsports. And that looks like that might... Oh, no, there we go. We have... where was I there? The 46 of Speed Mafia driver Fred Thompson going to be starting in 25th. And rounding out the field, Chris, out of Canada, the 11 of Patrick Abrahamson.
That is going to be your field here as we get ready to go live for the first time here tonight. It is the TRJKarting.com Blazing Pedals Can-Am Series live here on YouTube, the Turn 3 Racing Network. Also going to be presented later on, not tonight though, unfortunately, by the Pride Outdoor Network. 26 drivers set to take on Indianapolis, and everybody is looking to do the same thing, or at least try to, Rick, and that is to kiss the bricks.
Well, that's the thing, Chris. Like I said earlier, 7 races left, including tonight, to get yourself locked into that chase before you have to worry about points and being above that cutoff line. So a lot of pressure on a lot of drivers out there right now.
Pace car gonna drop in, and we are getting set to go green flag racing. Joseph Tice in the 24, leading the field down this long front stretch. Green flag is out for the first time tonight.
Right now, pretty much Tice and Todd side by side. Tice getting a little bit of a run, but the outside coming in strong, Chris. Right now, the 63, they're door to door, trying to figure out who's going to take it. Right now, the 24 has the lead, but here comes Dakota Todd, nice and strong on the outside in that number 63, taking over that lead.
Derek Paulson in the outside, trying to follow Dakota Todd, the 6. Not able to stay there, though. The 24, Joseph Tice, gets in line. Top 4 drivers are sitting in line. Todd, Tice, Paulson, Thompson. Then it's a little bit of a break. Back to Jason Powell as the field goes nose to tail most of the way through.
Oh, we got a nice long race here, Chris, so that's smart to get nose to tail there. They're pretty much nose to tail all the way through. We do have the 9 of Nick Okie right now back in 17th position, putting the hurting on Terry Foster on the inside. And here comes Jamie Walker to help him out a little bit.
Yeah, Nick Okie looking for a strong night here. Didn't have a great race last week, looking to try and bounce back. The 9 has almost cleared Terry Foster, and now he has Okie up into the 16th spot. Terry Foster falls down 1. Here comes the 88 of Jamie Walker, looking to maybe make it 3 wide. He does not do it, Rick. He falls back in line. Terry Foster on the outside takes his spot back.
I mean, you can technically do 3 wide here at Indy, Chris, but I definitely, you know, that was a smart move, not doing it in the corner. They saw the corner coming up, so you saw everybody just get nose to tail. And now here comes Jamie Walker on the inside of that 9 machine of Okie to take over that position. Okie trying to battle back.
Moving and shaking going on here in the second half of the field. Up top, it is still Dakota Todd, Joe Tice, and Rick Thompson, your top 3. Derek Paulson, Marquis Smith, welcome to the top 5 as he's gained a couple of positions. The 21 looking stout out there so far.
Yeah, 21 looking really good, Chris. Of course, you know, Marquis Smith, as you said, just came back there last week to, you know, do a little bit of racing. He took some time off, got his head right, and it's good to have Marquis back out there, man. I enjoy talking with Marquis over at Discord. Great person. And, you know, a decent driver, and he just hasn't had the luck, Chris, and he's trying to turn that around as he's following Paulson around. So it's good to see him. He's up 2 positions right now from the start of the race. Of course, the biggest mover here so far tonight, Jamie Walker in the 88, up 6 positions in the 16th. He's putting the hurt in there on old man Foster.
Yeah, Terry was able to bounce back one time on the outside lane. Now he's got Jamie Walker taking a look to the inside, heading into turn 1. These long sweeping corners just a little different than everybody's used to. There is some small banking there, but not a lot, and definitely not much you can hold on to. You will slide if you don't get your braking points and acceleration points right, and the 88 makes that pass on Terry Foster. Another guy that's trying to move up, it's Big Bad Brian Dees. He's up 3 spots. Rick, he's racing in 8th spot, right behind Taylor the Butcher Benjamin, trying to catch the back bumper there. So D's making some good moves and some strong headway early on in this one.
So we talked about the banking, Chris. It's exactly 9.2 degrees on the corners. That is not a lot at all.
Not a lot at all is absolutely right. Dakota Todd leads the way here after 5 laps at Indianapolis. Joe Tice sitting in that 2nd spot. Rick Thompson is doing a fantastic job. Thompson up 1 spot at the very beginning of this race and now sits in the top 3. And you gotta believe, Rick, he would be comfortable just sitting there for the rest of the night. Even though he would love a win, a top 3 would be huge this week.
Yeah, I mean, it really would, but you know, Thompson, he wants to get locked in, man. He's had such a good season, and he's been close so many times, Chris, and you know, you heard it when he was talking. He wants to do better. He wants to get up there. And right now he's sitting in a good position. You know, I mean, it's a long race still. Like you said, we're only on lap 5 with 96 still. So, you know, a long ways to go, but anything can happen.
The last couple of weeks have definitely been some exciting racing. Last week was incredibly good. Just a couple of cautions last week, couple of cautions the week before. And it's been fantastic racing here at the Blazing Pedals. As this season is starting to wind down. Just 7 races, Rick, before we hit the chase, including
7
tonight?
races,
Oh,
including
man.
tonight. Yep. So very quick. I mean, like I said, a lot of pressure on these drivers, Chris. And there's been so many guys like Brian Dees, you know, always been the bridesmaid, never the bride. And, you know, so close to getting, of course, you know, they're going to be in on points, hopefully. We didn't talk about points here tonight, but we'll have to touch on that later or next broadcast. But, you know, so close. And, you know, some guys, they have a comfortable lead right now. And, you know, they're okay. They're going to make it into the chase. But those guys that are locked in, man, they have all the pressure off their shoulders. They can just go out there and have fun. I know if it was me and I was out there, only 7 weeks left, Chris, and I'm just above that cutoff line or just below it, man, I'm going to be racing my heart out.
Yeah, I am too.
Who are you kidding? You'd already be up there. Come on. I'm talking about me, you know, the back runner guy.
Well, been watching Aaron Bach over throughout this race so far, all 7 laps of it, Rick, and it's not looking good for the 44. He had a great qualifying run, but something is happening with the 44. Early on in this one, he has slipped back, and I mean way back to 14th spot, down 8 positions is Aaron Bach over. He's got Corey Sherman right in front of him, and then it is Jamie Walker in the 88. Walker, the opposite. Rick, he's up 10.
Yeah, so probably the biggest mover of the race, Chris Walker is. And, you know, that's something that we expected to see out of Jamie. And I'm kind of wondering, Aaron Backover, he was very fast during practice, Chris. He was very, very fast during qualifying. So obviously the speed's there for the 44 Busch car. But I think what he's trying to do right now, he's just sitting there. He's, keeping calm. I bet, he's not talking. It's all Corey and Terry down there in that channel right now. And Aaron's probably got them all muted. But I think he's just sitting there buying his time, saving his equipment as much as he can. I mean, 8th position's not really that big of a deal. He's sitting in 14th. It's a long race. I think he's just trying to keep that Busch car in perfect condition for the end.
Well, he very well might be. Let's take a look. Best lap time for Jamie Walker, a 55.189. Last time by a 55.376, so not a lot of tire fall off yet for the 88 machine. Let's go up and compare that to our race leader of Dakota Todd, a 54.603 his best lap time, and a 55.248 for Dakota Todd. So a little bit more tire fall off towards the front of the field, it seems, Rick. Could they be pushing just a little bit harder up there, do you think?
Well, they might be. I mean, Todd's in a good spot right now, Chris. I mean, he does have a little bit of a gap there, just over, a second there. So that's a good lap. So I think he's trying to push it to kind of open it up a little bit more, try to stay out of everybody's issues and just lead this thing. I mean, right now he's just out there for a Sunday night drive.
Well, Dakota Todd's your race leader, and he does have about a 1.1 second lead over Tice. Thompson right behind him, though, just over a 1/10 of a second. Rick Thompson is doing a great job here in his number 76, and Marquis Smith is hanging tough as well. Smith running in 4th spot, up 3 since the beginning of this one.
I'm loving that car. I like that looks of that gold.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah,
that's good for Marquis. I mean, that's what he talked about, Chris. He had such bad luck during the beginning of the season there that he took a couple months off, and he said, guys, I don't know if I'm going to be back. I mean, he messaged me perfectly, and he thanked us for everything that how we talk about him and everything. And he is a great driver, a great person, Chris. And he's like, Rick, I just got to get my head straight. And he goes, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to do that, and hopefully you're going to see me back out there in the 21. And when I do come back, watch out. And that's what he's doing here tonight. I mean, he's having a great job. Up 3 positions, sitting in 4th, like you said, Chris. So working his way up through. He's doing what he's got to do right now.
Jamie Walker's picked up another spot while we were talking, up to 11th spot. That's plus 11 after starting 22nd, and he's using the underside of that white line just a little bit, Rick, to help him turn. The 88 might have figured something out. I haven't seen anybody else doing that so far, so well, we'll see if that continues to help Jamie Walker or if it ends up burning that right rear. The problem with making a car turn like that, the right rear really does get beat up over it. So something to watch out for here out of the 88 machine. Let's go on back and look at his teammate. That's Ian Habiuk. Habiuk running 18 spots so far in his TRJKarting.com Toyota. So down 3 positions for the kid, but still in it. He's looking for a good week, Rick. He really, really needs it.
He does, Chris, and he's had a couple of good weeks, within the top 5, top 10, and he's looking to turn around. I mean, he's in what I like to call the driver slump right now, Chris. Getting tied up and stuff, having somebody get into you, or, you not being hard enough on the brakes, or really, staying aware of what's going on ahead of you. So I'm looking, we're going to see him at some point this season. He's going to be up there.
I have no doubt. I think he is. Very talented driver. He was doing great in the trucks. I think if he had another season in the trucks, Rick, he would have had another opportunity to grow just a little bit more. Now he has to do it with these K&N cars, which is a very different ride around these tracks. Speaking of going for a ride around these tracks, why don't we do that with our race leader, Dakota Todd? We're going to go ahead and hop right on in to the cockpit of Dakota Todd. Biggest thing I'm hearing here, Rick, is tires. Tires screaming through those corners.
Yeah, they're definitely talking to the drivers right now, Chris. That's for sure.
This is what it feels like to go 182 miles down the backstretch here at Indianapolis. Into turns 3 and then turn 4. Turns are very different here. Not like any other track that we've been to so far, certainly. And look how close to the wall he gets coming off from turn 4 down that long straightaway. Tachometer pegged in the red. Still trying to find more speed out of his 63 machine. 184 miles an hour down the front stretch.
You know, Todd's being very, very careful with his steering there, Chris. You can see it, small movements. And, you know, when he exits the corner, you know, he fights it a little bit, but he gets that thing straightened right back up. But, man, 96 laps doing that, that's tough.
Huh. Oh, man.
I don't care what anybody says.
Let's compare his lap with Jamie Walker. Walker, who's sitting in 10th spot, but up 12. Let's take a look at Walker's steering wheel and maybe check in on his top speed just to see what kind of differential. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Man, these cars are loose. Woo. Okay. Let's see what kind of speed he gets down that front stretch. Keep in mind, he does have a little bit of help in front of him. 179.80. 84. So him and Dakota Todd running very equal times right now.
Our first green flag pit stop of the night is happening, Chris. Derek Paulson pulls in that 6 machine down pit road. It looks like Brian Dees might be also coming down pit road. So a couple guys coming down the pits. Derek Paulson, Brian McCrae, Nick Okie. I just heard over driver's channel that the 17 is going to be coming in also.
Race leader Dakota Todd peels it down, and this is tricky. You have to be careful getting on to this pit road. Dakota Todd does a fine job, and that's going to give the lead on over to the 24 of Joe Tice. Tice now is your race leader. Marquis Smith right behind him. Taylor the Butcher Benjamin stays out. He's running in 3rd spot. Ty Morosco up to 4th. Aaron Bockover all the way back up to 5th spot because of these cars that are pitting. Terry Foster up 12 to 6th. And David Bennett sitting in 7th spot, up 13. So a lot of these guys choosing to wait maybe another lap before coming down pit road, Rick, and that's going to get the whole field kind of mixed up, and oh boy.
Yeah, it's going to be fun for us, that's for sure. Right now, all I'm seeing really, Chris, is a lot of guys going out there. I mean, we heard the tires screaming as we're in the cockpit of Todd and Walker.
Tyson, Marquis Smith, Rick coming down pit road. The Butcher stays out. So the Butcher, the 3rd guy to lead a lap here tonight in his number 10.
And right behind him, Ty Morosco, Aaron Bockover, the Hurricane, Ian Habiuk in 4th. Corey Rutherford is going to be taking over the 5th spot. Of course, those drivers still have to come down pit road, Chris. I mean, guys coming in early to get that fueled up. I mean, we're already halfway through stage number 1.
How much longer can the Butcher stay out? How much longer is he willing to stay out? Every lap now, he's going to be losing time to those guys that have the fresh tires, Rick, and you can't afford to do that for very long.
Looking at the speeds of how long people were in their pits, Chris, I'm not seeing many new tires out there. A lot of guys just getting fuel only, fill up that Sunoco racing tank, get back out there.
The Butcher and Bockover coming down pit road. Ty Morosco stays out for another lap. Ty Morosco is going to be a race leader here tonight. And still, Ian Habiuk in the 16 stays out there. A lot of strategies going on here already with this one as we're on lap 18. First stage caution going to happen at the end of lap 30 here tonight. And Ian is I believe, going to be coming down, or not. Or not. What do I know? Yeah, here he goes. So Habiuk's going to give up the race lead, and he knew he had to, Rick. I mean, how long can you stay out there?
Well, that's the thing, and I don't think he wants to try to test it to find out, Chris. You know, that's one of the downfalls of having a live spotter. If Tim's not really on it with his calculations, things can go bad. Now, if you're just listening to your iRacing spotter or crew chief, you know, they will give you a hint. You know, you need to come down in 3 laps. You need to come down in 2 laps. You need to come down now because you're running on fumes, or next time by. And when you have a live spotter, usually that goes away. So a lot of pressure on Tim Habiuk, his spotter out there right now, and crew chief. But I think 18, 19 laps, I think that was a good run.
Well, the 24, after the green flag pit stops, reassumes the race lead. Marquis Smith gets around Dakota Todd about a half a lap ago, and he picks up 2nd spot. So Marquis Smith now up solidly in the top 3. Dakota Todd sits in 3rd. Dalton Kilroe up to 4th spot. And Derek Paulson rounds out the top 5 in that crisp IPA Dr. Squatch machine.
After the pit stops, Chris, Jason Powell in the 18 is going to be in 6th position. Rick Thompson fell down to 7th. Brian Dees in 8th. Jamie Walker moved up 13 positions to 9th. And Taylor the Butcher Benjamin in his 10 machine is rounding out the top 10.
Check in on our man Terry Foster. Terry is having a quiet night here so far. He has gained 2 positions since the start of the race, but sits back in the 16th position. The good news here so far, though, keeping the car clean and pretty darn consistent laps, Rick. And if you can keep that pace, you're going to be okay.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Chris. And, we talked to Terry, and, he didn't sound too enthusiastic about being, here at Indy tonight, but I think he's going to do good. I think he is. I mean, he's just out there. He's just doing his thing. I can tell you, I just got a message from one of the drivers about the car conditioning because I asked about it. And I'm going to use the PG version and just say the cars are loose.
Uh-huh.
It has something to do with the nun in prom night. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. Yeah, Joe Tice, in just his 3rd race of the season with the Blazing Pedals, is up front, leading the way on this one. Marquis Smith, Dakota Todd, 2nd and 3rd. We're going to step away for just a moment, go side by side so you don't miss a moment of the action here on the Turn 3 Racing Network.
All right, we are back from the commercial break. Joe Tice still leading the pack here at Indy with a huge lead from Marquis Smith. Right now, Marquis Smith in second, about 2 seconds behind Tice. So Tice out there doing everything that he has to do, kind of like what we saw Dakota Todd doing earlier. He was just out there trying to gain a big lead. We've also seen this hurt a couple of guys when they get a huge lead like this, you know. I mean, thankfully we just had some green flag pit stops, so we might not see it this time. But with that big of a lead, what the problem is, guys, is that, you know, Marquis Smith can make a power move. He can go down pit road before Tice comes in when he needs to, but these guys going to be running this out right to the end of the stage number 1 there, and that's going to come at the end of lap 30. So once we see lap 31 start, we're going to have that caution flag come out. And but that's just, you know, a huge lead, as you can see. Back to Marquis, and it's actually growing a little bit. 2.09 seconds right now. Running down the order right now, we have Joe Tice leading this field around Indy. You got Marquis Smith in the 21 sitting in second. He's up 5 positions. The guy in third is up 6 positions. That's to the 41 of Dalton Kilroe. Dakota Todd fell back to 4th. Derek Paulson is in 5th. Jason Powell 6th. Rick Thompson 7th. Jamie Walker moved up 14 positions to the 8th position. Brian Dees in 9th, rounding out that top 10 still. Taylor the Butcher Benjamin. Then you have Brad Collins in the 22 and 11th. Nick Okie in 12th. Aaron Bockover. Corey Sherman. Ty Morosco. Terry Foster. Ian Haviuk. David Bennett. Corey Rutherford. And Derek Garrison rounding out the top 20. Then from back there, you got Joshua Rutherford, Brian McCrae, Casey Campbell, Noah Van Hoot, Fred Thompson, and Patrick Abrahamson in the 11 car is in 26. So a lot of things going on. We do have a new second place person. That is the 41 of Dalton Kilroe. He was able to get around the 21 of Marquis Smith. So Marquis Smith falls down one, but he's still in that top 3. But the 63, Dakota Todd, is coming up strong.
Well, Dalton Kilroe in that second spot, Rick. He's doing everything that he normally does. He is getting himself set up to try and win a stage. However, right now, 4.5 seconds to gap up to Joe Tice. Tice is rocket shipping around Indianapolis Motor Speedway here tonight. And again, just his 3rd start here with the Blazing Pedals. Man, it is a good thing this kid has not been here all season, or I think the win-loss columns would be a little bit different for everybody.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, an outstanding, talented driver, and it's always a joy to see him on the track, Chris. I mean, I know this is only his 3rd race, but the 2 that he was in earlier were just fantastic to watch a newcomer come out here and dominate. I mean, usually guys get a little nervous and they, you know, they take it kind of easy, but not Tice. He came right out here and said, hey, I'm going to show you guys what I can put on. And of course, these guys, they race a lot with each other in other leagues. So that's where they found Tice, and it's been a very, very good addition to the Blazing Pedals, I do believe.
Absolutely. That gap still continues to widen as it's now 4.76. Back to Dalton Kilroe from Tice. Marquis Smith sits in that 3rd spot. Kilroe maybe a little bit faster than Smith right now. He's starting to gap him just a little bit, but Marquis holding on tight. Behind him, it's Dakota Todd. Todd, who started in 2nd spot tonight, has fallen back to the 4th position. Derek Paulson has fallen 2 back to 5th. And then you've got Jason Powell. Got to get to Jamie Walker in 7th spot before you find somebody who's gained position. Him and Brian Dees right behind him are both drivers who have gained position here in the late stages of stage number 1. Here we are working lap 28, first scheduled caution. It come out at the end of lap number 30 for the stage win. Joe Tice almost 5 seconds now ahead of Dalton Kilroe, looking strong to try and take that one. Oh, Dees, holy cow, did he get loose coming off the corner.
I mean, checking that track temperature, Chris, it has actually cooled down just a couple more degrees. We're at 150 degrees, but old tires equal warm track, or warm tires plus warm track. Old tires, warm track. There we go. Think, Rick. Sunday night, it's hot. But, you know, these cars are starting to slip and slide. I've seen a couple other drivers doing the same thing.
Hopefully conditions continue to cool down here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, because Yeah, as we've been told, Rick, the track is loose.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing that, Chris. Now, of course, the pit road is now closed as we head into the end of lap 29 to start lap 30. So once those guys cross the start-finish line at the end of lap 30 into the starting lap 31, the stage is going to come out. So the end of the stage is near, and right now Tice has a demanding lead over Kilrow. So if Kilrow is hoping to win this stage, I don't think it's going to happen with a 5-second gap in between first and second, but the thing is, he is above Jamie Walker, who's sitting in 7th. So Dalton Kilrow racing for those stage points right now for the playoffs.
Yeah, every point counts. And you're right, Rick. Kilrow has some ground to make up for that championship run coming here in just 6 weeks after tonight. So Kilrow wants to try and be in front of Walker every chance he can get. Walker, the winningest driver here this season. Jamie Walker running in 7th spot. We are on lap 30. So the next time we cross the bricks, it's going to be caution. And it's going to be the first caution of the night for the end of stage number 1. A big shout out to everybody out there watching here on YouTube. We really do appreciate you coming on out on a Sunday night. Hopefully things are going well for you and yours as Joe Tice rounds through corner number 4. He's going down the front straightaway, and he will be our stage 1 winner. Caution is out. Joe Tice at the end of that had over 5 seconds over Dalton Kilrow right now. I mean, he got out
huge.
front, Rick, and he was gone.
Yep, you're absolutely right, Chris. And that's something that we're used to seeing out of Tice. You know, I mean, like we said, it's only his 3rd race, but very common trait. I mean, once he gets out in that clean air, that 24 is nothing but fast.
Well, congratulations to Joe Tice, stage 1 winner here from Indianapolis. These guys are going to hit pit road, and who knows what their strategy is going to be going forward, Rick. You never know with these guys. It is always something different, it seems. I do know one thing for sure. We've got time to step away and get a word in from one of our race sponsors, and we're going to do just that. We'll be right back after this message.
Listen up. The soap you shower with, it's you probably haven't even questioned what bar soap you lather up with. Let's face it, most guys don't. They're still using whatever bar their mommy bought for her little man. Is that what you want? To smell like mama's little man? Ugh. But now you can upgrade your shower game with Dr. Squatch Natural Soap. I'm talking about natural, nourishing, cold-pressed hand-cut soap for men. Men who use their hands. Men who build things. Men who open the pickle jar on the first try. Men who catch foul balls without spilling their beer. You won't just smell good either. Your skin will be healthier and more nourished. Dare I say, soft. Oh, men aren't supposed to have soft skin? Yeah, well, men weren't supposed to cry during movies. And then they made the movie Rudy. He's so good. You want to smell like the forest? Boom, pine tar, we've got you. You want to smell like the sea? Boom, nautical sage, we've got you. You want to smell like you just got off a boat in the Caribbean? Boom, bay rum, we've got you. And with 6 more cents, we've got you covered no matter what kind of man you are. Now you're wondering, why have I been doing it wrong for so long? During the First World War, big soap started taking out all the natural ingredients to make production cheaper and faster. And they replaced all the natural stuff with chemicals. Chemicals like sodium lauryl sulfate, parabens, and dioxin. Chemicals linked to depression, liver damage, cancer, and low sperm count. And worst of all, dry skin. Oh, your poor balls, all dry, empty, and sad. But there's good news. We make our soaps with natural ingredients from the earth. Ingredients like oils, plants, goat's milk, Greek yogurt, oatmeal, shea butter, and citrus. No. Turn your shower game up to 11 With the smooth lather of gold moss or the exfoliating woodsy bliss that is pine tar, get ready to step out of the shower feeling alive. Still not sure? Here's a couple reviews from real customers. Joseph S. says,
"This is the perfect bar of soap. It's like it was handcrafted in the Northwest Forest by beautiful tiny elves."
oh, tiny elves isn't enough for you? Well, here's another review from Michael A.
It makes you feel like you just stepped out of a mountain stream, and Squatch was there to hand you the towel.
Time for you to get the right tool for the job, because you're worth it, my friend. We ship it right to your door. And with a 100% satisfaction guarantee, if it's not the best bar of soap you've ever used, it's on us. Tens of thousands of men already soap-scribe, which means that every month, fresh new bars of Squatch show up at their door. Click the link for Dr. Squatch Natural Soap. Real soap for real men. Or don't, and continue to be mommy's little helper.
That's a wrap.
All right, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Did he click it yet? Did he click the link? He hasn't clicked the link? I would have when I heard about the dry, sad balls. Oof. Man, what's this guy doing? Click the link, man. Step up your shower game.
TRJKarting.com is your #1 online source for karting components, engines, and safety gear. They have a huge selection for the novice to the professional and a dedicated section for sim racers. No matter how you do it, your desire and passion to go fast fuels them. Their focus is to put their customers into victory lane. Make sure you check them out at TRJKarting.com and give them a like on Facebook.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning into the Turn 3 Racing Network. We are under caution for the first time tonight as we just finished stage number 1, getting ready to go to stage number 2. Pace car lights are off on the Ford Mustang, and Dalton Kilrow is your race leader. He chose the up lane. Joe Tice missed his pit stall just a little bit, Rick, and, well, he came out pit road in second spot.
Yeah, that's something that we don't normally see, but you know, Indy's pit road very, very tricky, Chris. And you know, when you're the first car in, you got to calm it down. I mean,
oh no, the 55 goes around before we even get underway. The 55 goes around. Let's see if we're going to extend that caution. If race control saw it, we're going to find out. Green flag showing in the air. Your race leader, Dalton Kilrow. The 55 was able to righten the ship. Corey Rutherford going for a ride before we even get under the green flag. Rick, let's go back and take a peek, see what happened to Corey. We're watching the 55. He's on the outside. Oh.
Just a big checkup.
Yeah.
Looks like it started with Brian Dees, actually, Chris.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, you don't see that very often, but here we are. And Dalton Kilrow going to be your race leader. Ladies and gentlemen, we haven't done it enough, and we're going to get ready to do it now. If you're watching on the TV, go ahead and crank that thing up to 100. If you're watching on a phone, put that rocker dial all the way up to 10. And anything else that you could possibly be watching, I want you to turn the volume all the way up, because it is time to turn it up. And that's just how we do it here on a Sunday night as the 41 runs into trouble. Dalton Kilroe sliding backwards by quite a bit, Rick.
Yeah, he just came out the corner, got into the wall, Chris, and did what, you know, the admins and race control have always asked these guys, just keep it there until it's clear. So Dalton Kilroe losing a lot of spots there, back to 14th position from leading this thing. And another little tidbit of information, there's 2 drivers that came down pit road. Now they are, it looks like at least a lap down, Chris, but Noah Van Hoot, Ty Morosco at the beginning of the stage, or at the end of the stage, decided to come down after we went back green flag racing, come down pit road to get their service done.
Up front, it's a 3-horse battle. It's Tice, Walker, and Smith, your top 3. Jamie Walker with some blinking going on. Rick, don't see that typically while we're under green out of Walker. Hopefully that corrects itself. But right now, Jamie Walker up 20 spots to second spot. Marquis Smith up 4 to third.
Jason Powell right now up 1 position, sitting in 4th position. Derek Paulson rounding out that top 5. Then you got Brian Dees. Taylor the Butcher Benjamin has moved up from 10th to 7th place. Rick Thompson in 8th. Aaron Bockover sitting in 9th position right now, Chris. And rounding out the top 10, the 22, Brad Collins.
Now back up front, we're going to watch this horse race here for a moment as Tice, your pole sitter on the evening, leading the way after the 41 got into the wall a little bit and went backwards. Now, though, he's got the 88 all over him. Jamie Walker peeks down to the inside. Walker hoping he's got the momentum as Marquis Smith goes in and closes the door on the upside. Smith now goes down to the inside. He's going to follow Walker, looking for the race lead, Jamie Walker. Walker holding that inside lane, and here comes Marquis Smith. Smith following the 88. The 88 trying to take the lead. He's got it by just a nose so far. Smith goes back to the outside. That's going to help the 24. Heading into the corner, it's still the 88 with a great rotation. The 88 takes the race lead for the first time here on lap number 42.
That was very smart driving by the 21 of Marquis Smith, Chris. He was just kind of keeping that door closed from Tice. It looks like Tice finally decided to make his own door and said, hey, I'm going to fall back, but I'm not falling back that far.
Yeah, Tice doing everything he had to do to close that door. You're absolutely right. But Marquis Smith right on the back bumper, and that allowed Jason Powell to get back to the back bumper of the 21, and he brought the 6 of Paulson and the 17 of Dees along for the ride.
I mean, we know that Marquis Smith wanted second, Chris, and he's been racing so good, but he's one of them good, clean, respectable drivers. He decided to just say, hey, listen, he actually opened the door a little bit so Tice can come down, because he knows if he races him that hard, what little bit left of tires he has is going to go away. And, I mean, they could have battled it out there for quite a bit, but when you battle like that, there's always a chance of something happening. So a smart move from Smith to let Tice back in the second. But like you said, Powell in the 18, man, he is right on the back bumper of that 21. And as you said, Paulson and Dees right there. And here comes Rick Thompson to throw himself into the fray.
Yeah, Rick Thompson wants to get back inside that top 5, Rick. Remember, he started in 4th spot here tonight. Rick Thompson right now in 7th, loving seeing some of that racing getting on up front, but now as they have gone nose to tail, watch that separation from the 17 and the 76. Dees is gapping a little bit because he's with those front runners over Rick Thompson. Oh, Dees comes out of that corner sideways.
Sideways, yeah.
Whoa. And look at this, Jamie Walker, speaking of gapping, he has got a 6/10 lead, and we've got some pit stops happening, Rick. Brad Collins and Rick Thompson coming down pit road.
Yeah, Speed Mafia teammates decided, okay, enough's enough. Let's come down pit road. Of course, we are on lap 45 of 96, Chris. Now, the end of stage number 2 going to be ending at the end of lap number 60. So pit road's going to start getting busy here, I'm sure.
Jamie Walker being very smart. He's trying to break the draft from the drivers behind him. That's why you see him wave down to the low side of the track. And then he comes back up to set himself up for the corners. He's just trying to break the draft between him and Joe Tice.
Well, Walker's a very smart driver, Chris, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's just trying to incorporate a little bit of dirty air there for the 24 as a bunch more guys start breaking down pit road. Jason Powell, Paulson, Dees, Bockover. Looks like the Shermanators going down, and Dakota Todd.
7 drivers by my count coming down pit road right now. As these guys know they can't make it on fuel, Rick, so why don't we come down while the tires are still pretty fresh, get some fuel, get back out there to try and get up towards the front here at the end of stage 2. That's certainly one way to do it. The other way is to just lead the darn thing. And that's what Jamie Walker is doing. Plus 21 here tonight. He is the hard charger so far in this race. How about this? Terry Foster, by virtue of some of those drivers coming down pit road, Terry Foster inside the top 10. He's running in 8th spot. He's up 10 spots with Derek Garrison behind him in the 8 car. But he is a long way away, Rick. Long ways away. 10 seconds, in fact.
They're 10 seconds away, Chris, but I heard over the driver's radio, Foster's going to be coming down pit road this
right
time
now.
by. Yep.
So Jamie Walker continues the trend of leading here as the 88. Took him a little while to get there, Rick. But now that he's up there, man, look at him go. He is being ultra smart. He's using the guy in front of him to pick up some of the draft. That's the 35 of Brian McRae. And now the 88 is sniffing out some of that draft, trying to get a little extra speed to stay away from Tyson Marquis Smith.
I mean, all eyes right now are on Walker, and it's not because he's leading the race, but it's because of that right there. And look at Marquis Smith. Whoa,
oh, Marquis Smith hard on the brakes, locking up the front tires as he comes in a little bit late. Hopefully he got it down to speed in time. The 24, Joseph Tice, takes over the race lead by virtue of Walker and Smith coming down pit road. So the 24 reassumes the race lead. 2.2 seconds behind him, it's the 10 of Taylor the Butcher Benjamin Dalton Kilroe back up to 3rd. Kilroe, we saw him get into the wall, Rick, and he went backwards in a hurry. Hopefully not a lot of damage to the 41.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out for Dalton Kilroe in the 41. Dadio's machine, Chris. But right now, I'm kind of wondering what's going through Tice's mind because, I mean, that was a good move by Walker and Marquis Smith. I mean, it was very smart by Marquis sitting back there in 3rd place to come down with the leader as Tice comes down now to relinquish the lead over to the Butcher. If the Butcher stays out, which he is. So Tice, I mean, he's going to do some driving to get back up there.
So right now, your race leader, Taylor the Butcher Benjamin, 2nd spot, belongs to the kid, the Hurricane, Ian Habiak. In 3rd, it looks like it's going to be the 13 of David Bennett. Walker and Marquis Smith back out on track, Rick, and they weren't on pit road very long. A splash of fuel, enough to make it, I think, to the end of the stage. And that is all they took before coming back out onto track. A very smart move not filling the tank.
Yeah, I mean, the worst thing that can happen, Chris, is that an actual caution comes out, but that's going to allow drivers to go down there anyway. So, you know, hopefully their calculations are right. They have enough to go to the end of stage number 2. But, yeah, they definitely didn't fill that tank up all the way. Give me a splash, let me go out there, do what I have to do, keep it. And it's all good. I mean, that was hard driving by Marquis Smith, man. I mean, he was on the brakes hard.
Yeah. You have to be so careful getting into that pit road. That little junt out of the wall there, I've seen many drivers. Okay, well, I've done it myself too. It's very easy for the nose of your car to find that wall. And luckily, Marquis was able to lock it up pretty straight and get down pit road. So Jamie Walker, it looks like, when these other 2 drivers come down pit road, will reassume the race lead. Tice is going to be in second and Marquis Smith in third. But right now, it is all the Butcher. Oh, the Butcher comes down pit road. The Butcher says, I'm going to need some fuel. He comes down pit road with just 10 more laps to go of stage number 2. Ian Habiat goes on by. He's going to get credited with leading that lap. So the Hurricane crosses over the bricks as the race leader for the first time here, leading lap number 50 going into 51.
And Tice just made a power move going around Walker in the 88, Chris. So the 24 is making moves of his own right now. Taylor the Butcher Benjamin still being scored on my scoring as second, but I think that's going to go away as these guys start coming down through. So Tice right now sitting in second place, Jamie Walker in third, Marquis Smith fourth, Brian Dees in the top 5.
And you see Abrahamson coming down off from pit road to rejoin the racing surface. But right now it is the 24 of Tice and Jamie Walker running second and third. The Kid, the Hurricane, the 16 TRJKarting.com Toyota Camry is your race leader, and he is continuing to stay out there, Rick.
Yes, surpasses pit road once again, Chris, to go around as he comes into 1 and 2 and heading down that long backstretch.
I believe some sort of pit strategy is happening here, Rick. I think maybe Tim is racing this one backwards. Tim, you're right. Absolutely clean racing here tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. Only one caution on the evening for the end of stage number 1. And other than that, we have been green all the way. Stage 2 getting ready to end here at the end of lap number 60. And right now, the Kid brings it down pit road. He's going to surrender the race lead.
He's got a heck of a gap in between, which is going to start closing, Chris, but over 24 seconds.
Let's keep an eye on that pit road speed, Rick. Let's remember it's 60 miles an hour. Habiak just underneath it at 59. As Tice and Walker still trying to close it up. Still 18 seconds to go. Now 15-13. It's closing quick. Tice takes over the race lead. Walker right behind him. Marquis Smith third. So that is going to be the end of the green flag pit stops here from the Blazing Pedals. It's going to be green all the way through, Rick. You just have that feeling. Indianapolis providing some hellaciously good racing here tonight.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Drivers doing a great job. I mean, really big mix-ups that we've seen. Dalton Kilrow getting into the wall, which he claimed over the radio that it was just him being silly and not paying attention. But he did the right thing, Chris. He held it up there, let everybody go by until he was clean. Right now, Kilrow has worked his way back up to his original starting position of 9th. So not bad. And then, of course, we saw that under the stage caution where Corey Rutherford in the field checked up a little bit, but Rutherford got the bad side of the stick on that one.
Yeah, he really did. But nonetheless, he's still out there. He's still on the lead lap. So
and he's in his original starting position of 19th.
Kind of like starting the race all over again, although maybe a little bit of damage to slow him down just a little bit. I'll tell you who's not going slow right now, and that's your pole sitter and current race leader. It's the 24 of Joseph Tice. Jamie Walker, Marquis Smith, second and third. Brian Dees up to 4th spot. Rick, that's a +7 on the night for Dees.
Yeah, pretty good night if you ask me. I mean, you know, he doesn't want to settle for 4th. He definitely doesn't want to settle for 3rd, even though he'll be able to talk to us again. But we know what he's going to say. You know, always the bridesmaid, never a bride. But having a great night out of there, the 17ers. We still have quite a few laps left to go. We're only on lap 54 of 96, so plenty of time for Dees to make his moves. And Rick Thompson doing a great job. He's only fallen 1 position, but he is within that top 5. Powell's right there with him in 6th. Eric Paulson 7th. The Butcher is in 8th. Dalton Kilrow, as we said earlier, in 9th. And Aaron Bockover rounding out that top 10.
How about Dakota Todd? He started up towards the front here tonight. Had a very fast car during qualifying, but now Ricky finds himself back in 11th spot. And this is not the night he needed. He needed to bounce back from last week's challenging race. at Pocono. And so far, he hasn't been able to do it. Sitting in 11th spot here for Dakota Todd. There is a potential pass going on just in front of him, but it didn't happen. And it looks like it was the 10 of the Butcher trying to get around Kilrow, and that did not happen. The Butcher settles back in behind Dalton Kilrow. Up front, it is still the 24 of Joseph Tice, the 88 Jamie Walker, and the 21 of Marquis Smith. There's a lap down vehicle in between all of that, and I can't see who it was. Was it not him? I don't know. I
think it might be Casey Campbell in the 73, maybe. Was it a black car?
Yes, that's the one.
I mean, the good news for Dakota Todd, he's already locked into the chase, folks, by winning a race. So, but the downside of it is you know, he's got Jamie Walker up there running in second. He's got Dalton Kilrow running up above him in 8th position. He's also got Jason Powell's locked in too in 6th. So, you know, I mean, Dakota Todd, and a lot of it is mental, Chris. I mean, you want to have a good race so that way you can. I mean, he already has the pressure and the monkey off his shoulder. He's won a race, he's locked in, but he still wants to bring that momentum, get that confidence back as we see Powell going around the 17 of D's. But Powell moving up into the top 5 now. But, you know, I mean, when you have a bunch of bad races, that really, it messes with your mind a little bit. And to get it right, you got to have a good run, and that's what Dakota Todd's looking for here tonight.
I'll tell you another guy who's kind of looking for that too, and it's the 41 of Dalton Kilrow. You know, for a while, the kid could do no harm, and now he's been marred back into the, well, back top 10 and maybe just a little past the last few races. Dalton Kilrow has kind of lost it a little bit, Rick. We might have to actually rebuild that motor at some point.
Yeah, we might have to, Chris. And, you know, it's okay if he doesn't win another one. He's got 5 win stickers on that car already, Chris. And we're starting to run out of room. He actually took his name off the door, so that way he left more room. But you're right. You know, Dalton Kilrow the last couple of weeks haven't had the best of luck there for the Daddy O's team. And he's looking to get that back. And, you know, right now, he's sitting about where I mean, usually we see him back a little further. I mean, him getting into the wall probably messed him up just a little bit. And let me tell you, know, Dalton's running in VR. I know that for a fact because he bought my old one. And, you know, it's tricky on some of these tracks. You know, if he hasn't done a lot of practice at Indy in that VR, I mean, each wall is different. And when you're in VR, man, I mean, it's like you're sitting in the car. So it's what the real guys are really looking for. You want to get close to it, but you don't want to get too close because it sucks you in. And if you concentrate on that wall just a little bit at the wrong time, you drive up into it. But the Daddy O's machine looking pretty good now as he's trying to set up to go around the 11 of Abrahamson. That is not for position. Abrahamson is a couple laps down. Kilrow goes on the inside to work his way up through.
And the Butcher behind him, oh my, he came off from turn 4 sideways, gathered it back up somehow, and the Butcher continues to march on, sitting in 9th place right now. The story up front is Joseph Tice. Here we are on lap number 59, Rick. It's almost the close of stage 2, and Jamie Walker has lost 1.72 seconds to Joe Tice. So that 24 machine obviously loving these long green flag runs here at Indianapolis. And the other drivers out there vying for a win have got to figure it out.
Now, one thing, Chris, you already said it. We're on lap 59 here. So the stage is going to be ending at the end of lap 60, the start of 61. So as they start going across the bricks here, they got one more time around before that comes out. And I can tell you, pit road is going to get busy. Guys that have been saving tires is going to be taking a set. Now, the thing is, when they take that set, they have to realize that they got to let those tires warm up before they try to make too many moves. So it's going to get real fun and interesting here at the end of the stage number 2. But right now, Tice has a demanding lead over Walker.
Yeah, 2 seconds right now for Joseph Tice in the 24. And it looks like he is setting up to win stage number 2. That'll make him 2 for 2 on the night here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Joe Tice goes into turn 3. Now into turn number 4. The turns here are a little bit different again than any other track we've been to. You see Got the inside groove, very dark. Marbles are definitely out there. And the 24 is going to hit the bricks right now. Stage 2 winner goes to Joseph Tice. Two up, two down, Rick. Now it's just going to be a race till the end. As Joseph Tice wins stage number 2.
And the guys that are going to be getting some stage points there. Obviously, Joseph Tice taking that win there of stage number 2. Jamie Walker in second. Rick Thompson moved up to third. Jason Powell fourth. Brian Dees fifth. Derek Paulson sixth. Marquis Smith had a little bit of an issue. Fell down to 7th position, but he'll still get some points there. Dalton Kilroe, Taylor the Butcher Benjamin, and rounding out that top 10, Aaron Bockover.
It's been all Tice all night. As far as stage wins go, now we're going to be racing out to the end. Right now, though, we're under caution for just the second time tonight, again for a stage ending caution. Guys, Rick and I are going to take a little bit of a break. If you didn't catch, let me make sure I have it here. Maybe I don't have it. Maybe I need to get it up again. Yeah. So if you didn't catch the pre-race show, we're going to go ahead and play it one more time as we're sitting here under caution. Guys, we're going to be right back.
I've been married long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? Cotton Eye Joe. I've been married long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? time go? Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
Welcome back, race fans. This is the Turn 3 Racing Network live here on YouTube. Check us out also on the Pride Outdoor Network, prideoutdoornetwork.com. Unfortunately, not live there tonight, but it will be broadcast later on this week. Tonight, we have had a real barn burner here, Rick, at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and these guys have been doing it all out there. And let's just face it, track conditions haven't been the best, although they are pretty darn good at this point. 102 degrees on track as the caution lights are out on the Ford Mustang.
Yeah, I mean, that track temperature has fallen down quite a few degrees, Chris. I mean, at one point during practice, we saw it up to 121 degrees. So 102, going to be feeling pretty good now. A lot of drivers, or some drivers, I'm sure, definitely got a full tank of Sunoco racing fuel. And as I'm looking through, there's quite a few in the 15 and 14 seconds. So a lot of tires going on these rides. So these guys got to warm them things up before they really hit it hard. But you know, you got to be careful because you're going to feel like Superman out there, and you're not going to be. You're going to be more like Batman. You're not going to be able to fly right off the bat.
Pace car getting ready to turn left. It does. Only 2 cautions on the night so far for stage-ending cautions. As we get ready to go back under the green flag. Green flag is out. Joseph Tice on the inside, your race leader. Him in the 88 battling it out, but not much of a battle. Jamie Walker a little slow to get started. Tice goes up to the outside, heading into turn number 1.
Look at there who's sitting in third. Rick Thompson, the 76, Chris. Brian Dees in fourth. Jason Powell rounding out that top 5. Then it goes Dalton Kilroe, Derek Paulson, Marquis Smith, Taylor the Butcher Benjamin, and Aaron Bach over rounding out the top 10.
So a lot of positions have changed. We're going to have to wait and see how it all shakes out, because now, Rick, we've got different strategies that are going to be employed. So some guys got tires. We mentioned that. Some guys just got fuel on this one. There's guys out there that have a set of tires waiting to go on this thing maybe about halfway through this run, Rick, and that's going to change everything. But right now, the thing that hasn't changed, Joe Tice up front as your race leader in the number 24, Jamie Walker behind him, up 20 spots from the beginning of this race, sitting in second.
And Rick Thompson got a really good restart there, Chris, as Walker pulls away a little bit, but Thompson really digging into the corners here to try to catch back up in his Dodge machine. Speed Mafia driver, we talked to him earlier in the broadcast on Terry Foster's grid walk, and he's looking to have a good race, but so isn't the guy right behind him, and that's Brian Dees. But it has been an outstanding night here of racing at Indy, Chris. These guys having a heck of a time out there. And it shows. I mean, the track's actually cooling down even a little bit more now, 101 degrees, Chris. So these cars going around not really heating it up, but one thing that has to happen, Jamie Walker's got to heat it up a little bit to try to catch on to Tice. But like you said, a lot of racing, a lot of pit strategies. There's guys out there that have a couple of sets of tires still to go on, and that's where things are going to get real interesting.
Yeah, this one far from over. A lot of strategy yet to be deployed by some of the crew chiefs out there. But I will tell you now, it has been a good race. 2 cautions, as I mentioned at the start of the green flag, both of those for stage-ending caution flags. Other than that, it's been clean. We've seen a couple of incidents on track, nothing that's brought out a caution though, Rick. And the last one that we saw on track was the 41 of Dalton Kilroe, and he slipped way back the field, but now he's running in the 6th spot. Watch for that 41 to start trying to move himself forward, Rick. He has got to do something, as Jamie Walker was way ahead of him at the end of the last stage.
I mean, I want to see Walker and Kilroe have good races here, Chris, but, you know, they're already locked into the chase, so they're they're just racing for chase points right now. You know, I want to see Rick Thompson get up there. I want to see Brian Dees, you know, have a good night. You got Marquis Smith, who's been outstanding here. You know, another guy who's sitting in 7th position.
Oh, hold on, Rick. Jason Powell got into the wall, and man, did that slow up the cars behind him. He was able to hold on to it, but heavy hit to the right rear, especially in that 18 car. And now here comes Brian Dees. Dees gonna try and take advantage.
And what a good move there by Brian Dees, Chris, working on the inside of the 18 in his 17 machine, trying to get that position and move up so we can start racing for, to catch up to Rick Thompson, who's, got a good gap in between Dees. But right now, Paulson not making it easy. Here comes Dalton Kilrow into the fray a little bit.
Kilrow
right
is actually following Powell and pushing on Powell. That is not what Dalton Kilrow wants to see. He wants to see the inside go, and he was actually able to squeeze up into position. So okay for now for Dalton Kilrow, but man, what a heart stopper there for just a moment for the 18 of Jason Powell. Kilrow goes down to the inside one more time. Who is Brian Dees going to follow?
Well, I mean, both those drivers already locked into the chase, Chris. I think what Brian Dees is trying to figure out is exactly what you just asked, and it looks like he's going to go maybe with Kilrow. We'll see if he's able to keep that 17 down there. Now, of course, a lot of these guys on fresh tires so they can make some crazy moves, as we see Powell look on the inside of Kilrow, but Kilrow says, nope, not yet.
Yeah, that was a hard turn out of the 18 to get back down to be behind Kilrow. And I'll tell you, man, Kilrow is on a mission here. He is up to the 4th spot, Rick. Up 5 from the beginning of the race, but remember, he hit the wall a little bit ago and just fell like a rock through the field. I think he was 13th or 14th at that time, and he has been marching himself back up. Here comes the 18 of Jason Powell one more time. Powell is having a fantastic night here. He's very racy right now.
Another guy who's very racy, Chris, the guy who's sitting in second position, up 2 from the start of this. That's the 76 Bacon Shake Bates Speed Mafia driver of Rick Thompson. Gets around Jamie Walker to take over second. So Thompson, he came here. We heard it from him before, Chris. He wants to have a good night here. He wants to try to lock himself into the chaser. Do what he has to do. I mean, he's right there.
"96 laps is the total distance here tonight. We're working on lap number 70 right now. Your race leader, the 24 of Joseph Tice. Tice has been absolutely on fire here tonight. He won stage 1 and stage 2. Rick Thompson has squirted himself up to second spot, getting around Jamie Walker. Walker, the winningest driver here in the Blazing Pedals this season. Walker right now sitting in third spot, up 19 from the beginning of this race. And then it's Dalton Kilrow, up 5 positions from the start of this race. He's running in 4th right now in his 41. Then it's Jason Powell. Powell started 5th tonight. He's been up, he's been down, but right now he's right where he started, Rick. 5th spot, a solid top 5 for the 18. Brian Dees running in the 6th position. He's up 5 spots here tonight and definitely moving well with his number 17. How about Aaron Bockover? Bockover at the beginning of this race fell through the field like a stone. We thought there was something wrong, and it looks like whatever it was, the 44 of Aaron Bockover has it corrected. A solid top 10 run out of the 44 machine. Then behind him, it's the 63 of Dakota Todd. He started tonight in 2nd spot outside of the pole. Dakota Todd has been running pretty well tonight. He's been in the top 10, but not where we expected him to be, Rick, based on that qualifying speed.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Then right behind him, the 10 of Taylor the Butcher Benjamin, down 1 position, Chris, but he's sitting in 9th, so far in the top 10 still. And he's had, a kind of a quiet race, but he's got teammate Derek Paulson in the 6th machine right behind him, down 7 positions in 10th. So that's rounding out the top 10. Marquis Smith, the 21, starting to fade back a little bit. He's down 4 positions in 11th position. Corey Sherman, TNA Motorsports driver, Savage Edge Graphics. Make sure you check him out. But the 3, he's down 2 positions, sitting in 12th. Then you got Terry the Man Foster up 5 positions, Chris, sitting in 13th. So right now, Aaron Bockover got a little bit of a lead of his teammates, but Terry Foster, Corey Sherman trying to work it out. The kid up 1 position. That's Ian Habiak in the 16. He's in 14th. Brad Collins has fallen down 3 positions in his 22 machine in 15th. And Nick Okie in the 9. Well, he started this race here in 16th position, and he's still there. Then we got Big Daddy Brian McRae in the 35 down, 3 positions in 17th right now. Then you got David Bennett up 2 in 18th position. Derek Garrison been kind of quiet here tonight, Chris, but he's moved up 4 positions to the 19th spot. And of course, Corey Rutherford, we saw he had a little bit of an issue there when a car got into the back of him, spun him around a little bit, but Rutherford only down 1 position inside the top 20.
Now, how about his brother, Joseph Rutherford? Joseph running in 21st spot. Ty Morosco running in the 22nd position. Noah Van Hoot running in 23rd. Then it's Patrick Abrahamson, Fred Thompson, Casey Campbell to round out the field. Up front, though, no change. It's the 24 of Joseph Tice with Rick Thompson right behind him in 2nd spot. Thompson trying to figure out how to close down that 2.3 second gap on our race leader of Tice, and he's not getting a lot of help trying to do it on his own in that Dodge. Jamie Walker sits in 3rd spot with just 22 laps to go, Rick. And those laps are going to click off fast here tonight.
Yeah, they really are. Just a little bit of a correction, Chris. The 64, it's Joshua Rutherford, not Joseph.
Oh, yes, you're correct.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. You were thinking of Tice.
It happens. It happens. Dalton Kilroe sits in the 4th spot as they're working around the 73 machine. That is Casey Campbell. Campbell running in 26th position. So they're just trying to clear away. And they have. And now the 41 and the 18 of Jason Powell have a long way to go to try and catch the back bumper of the 88 Jamie Walker. 21 laps to go here from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Yellow flag is out. Not seeing it, Rick.
No, I'm not seeing.
Production Chuck is not being good tonight. Oh, it's Ian Habiak. Ian Habiak going for a ride. He is on the outside of the 22. And around he goes. Hard impact to the inside wall. And the 16 able to keep it going. Let's go back and check that one out again. You see the 22 to the inside. That's Nick Okie right behind him. The 22 may have just gotten into the left rear a little bit on the 16, and around he goes.
That's a hard hit for the Hurricane.
So caution flag with 20 laps to go. And Rick, I'm not exaggerating when I'm going to say this will change everything.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Chris. I mean, you've already said it. We only have 20 laps left to go, 19 laps left to go. And yeah, some stuff's going to happen. Well, I did hear from race control that they haven't fallen asleep yet, Chris. I mean, been some outstanding racing here so far from Indy. But the 22 is going to get the EOL for getting into the left rear of the 16. So Brad Collins going to the back of the line.
And everybody else is going to come on down pit road for what could be the last time here tonight, Rick. 20 laps to go, and all of the race leaders coming down pit road.
Now this is a nail-biting spot for all these drivers, Chris. I mean, we only have a handful of laps, or 2 handfuls of laps left to go. A lot of these drivers, and I'm thinking pretty much all of them, have a set of tires. So obviously you're going to come down and take it. But then there's other people that might say, you know, I really want that track position. My tires aren't that bad. I'm feeling comfortable, so just give me fuel only. Get me back out. There's a lot of things going through these drivers' minds right now.
Marquis Smith gonna come out as your race leader. What a pit stop for the 21 team. Oh, Rick, he played a strategy. We're not going to say anything, but we're going to say something because, wow, the 21 comes out on top. Then it's going to be Tyson Walker, Dalton Kilroe, Rick Thompson, Jason Powell, Aaron Bockover, Brian Dees, Dakota Todd, and the Butcher rounding out the top 10. Ooh, boy.
Big moves out of the 21 machine.
Rick, I don't know if these guys can... Oh, look at this. We're not going to say anything, guys, but you can hear it. You can hear what's going on here. I thought so. 19 laps is going to be a bit of a stretch. That's all I'm going to say. Especially if there's a green-white checker.
But if there's not, I mean, I know what you're saying, but we saw the Hurricane. He was out there for about 19 laps on a run, Chris. So, wow.
Well, Ian Habiuk's damaged a little bit more than we thought, as he is sitting on pit road still.
Oh, that was a hard hit, Chris. I mean, he slammed into that inside retaining wall.
All right, Rick. Pace car lights are off on the Ford Mustang. We've got about 2.5 miles to go before we go back under the green flag with 17 laps to go. We've seen the strategy on our scoring and timing. This one's going to get wild. Look how they're set up. My goodness, look at the power up front. All of the cream has risen. Smith, Tice, Walker, Kilroe, Thompson, Powell, Bockover, Dees, Dakota Todd, Taylor the Butcher, Benjamin, your top 10. Lordy, lordy. Look at the next row. Corey Sherman, Terry Foster.
Yeah. Indianapolis Motorsports having a really good run here tonight so far.
Marquis Smith is your race leader, getting ready for the pace car to take a hard left-hand turn to come down pit road. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you once again for coming out to the Turn 3 Racing Network. You're watching the Blazing Pedals, TRJKarting.com, K&N Series, live here on our YouTube channel. As we get ready to go under the green flag, Marquis Smith has control of the field, and he hits the loud pedal. We're green flag racing again. Marquis Smith quick to jump up to that top lane. Here comes the 88 of Jamie Walker trying to get there. Can't quite get there on the bottom side of Tice. And here comes the 41 of Kilroe. Kilroe working the outside.
What an interesting strategy from Tice, Chris. He kind of held back a little bit. He was even with Walker, so he wasn't even caught up to Marquis Smith. Gave Marquis Smith a good lead.
Here comes the 24 on the inside, Rick, and he's going for the race lead. Tim, it's absolutely our pleasure to bring you all the live action here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And we're glad that you come by and watch every Sunday night, as well as everybody should. Great racing here provided by the TRJKarting.com Blazing Pedals K&N Series. But right now, Rick, I am watching the 88, and he is having some blinking issues.
He is having some blinking issues. Oh, so isn't Powell. Powell with a nice long blink, Chris.
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
Marquis Smith starting to back up just a little bit.
What a scary spot.
Wow, what a move out of Bockover in the 44. He dropped way down. And now here comes Dakota Todd. Todd looking on the inside. Whoa, baby. Marquis Smith, all kinds of out of shape coming out of the corner.
Yeah, that 21, the back end kicked out just a little bit, got a little squirrely, but he was able to hang on. But that opened up the door for Dakota Todd to make his run. Now here comes Aaron Bockover, the Butcher, and the Shermanator, and Terry Foster, all looking into it. What a gaggle of cars back here, Chris.
Up front, it is Tyson Walker battling it out for the race lead one more time with 15 laps to go here from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. In third spot, it's Dalton Kilrow with Jason Powell right behind him. Rick Thompson in the top 5. Cars are starting to settle in nose to tail, Rick, and that's not a bad call. 15 laps seems like a very quick amount of time, but 2.5 miles, the scheduled distance here around this track. It's a big, big flat track, less than 10 degrees banking in the corners here in Indianapolis. And Joseph Tice has figured it out, Rick. He is gone again. Jamie Walker trying to hold on, but already a quarter of a second behind Tice. Dalton Kilrow, he was a leader at one time, and then he got into the wall. Rick fell way back into the field. He's worked his way back up solidly into the top 3.
And then right behind Kilrow, the 18, Jason Powell had a really long blink, Chris, and that caused a lot of anxiety on track for a lot of drivers. Now, folks, if you're new or you're watching on the Pride Outdoor Network and you don't understand what's going on, when you blink on the track, you still see your car out there, but everybody else disappears. And the drivers that are all around you, they see you disappear. So they don't know where you're going to come back. So you got to kind of hold your line, and that's exactly what happened. But it looks like it's starting to work out for the 18 and the 88, both having blinking issues, Chris, but it's looking a little better. But man, what a scary time to be out on track.
The 44 of Aaron Bockover was looking to the inside of Dakota Todd, couldn't make it happen. Todd gets a little squirrely coming through the corner. These cars, Rick, are becoming a handful with 13 laps to go. And the 63 was the latest one to maybe make a little gaffe as he came out of the corner a little bit sideways. Aaron Bockover tried to take advantage, couldn't quite get there.
Right now, the top 10 looks like this, Chris. It's tight, leading the pack around. Jamie Walker in second, Dalton Kilrow third, Jason Powell fourth, Rick Thompson fifth, Brian Dees in sixth, Dakota Todd in seventh, Aaron Bockover eighth, ninth belongs to the Butcher and his 10 machine, and Marquis Smith went from leading this field down to 10th position, rounding out that top 10. Just outside that top 10, the 86, Terry Foster, going to run his teammate Corey Sherman, Chris. The Shermanator in 12th. Nick Okie, Brian McCrae, David Bennett, Josh Rutherford, Ian Habiak. After that, he came out in 17th. Corey Rutherford, Ty Morosco, Brad Collins rounding out that top 20. Then you got Derek Paulson, Derek Garrison, Noah Van Hoot, Patrick Abrahamson, Fred Thompson, and Casey Campbell.
A lot of stuff happening around mid-pack, Rick, as cars are making moves. How about Nick Okie getting around Corey Sherman? The 9 car of Okie makes his way up the 12th spot, and now he's got his sights set on the man, Terry Foster. Checking in on your race leaders, it's Joseph Tice, your race leader, as he crosses the bricks. And he's got Jamie Walker right behind him heading into turn number 1. Then it's going to be Dalton Kilrow. Jason Powell sits in 4th spot. Rick Thompson with a solid top 5. I don't think we've seen the end of this one yet.
A lot can happen here. We still have 11 laps left to go, Chris. Soon to be 10. And right now, I mean, looking at the top 5, there's just one guy out there that is not solidly locked into the chase. Now, Tice, you know, he has won a couple, but he hasn't ran 75% of the season, so he is not eligible for the chase and the crown at the end of the season. But Rick Thompson, the only one, really trying to do everything that he possibly can. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would be happy with a solid top 5, Chris. I mean, that's going to help in the point standings. He is above the line right now. But man, it would be nice just to win it and then you don't have to worry about it for the next 6 races. But hey, 7 races left to go. He's the only one that's not locked in right now in the top 5.
So Marquis Smith came out of pit road as your leader. He did not take tires, Rick. That was what we were saving to talk about later. He has fallen back to 10th spot. But Marquis Smith was holding on to that 10th spot. So sometimes you gotta gamble a little bit. Now this isn't Las Vegas, it's Indianapolis, but even here, you gotta gamble.
Talk about gamble the 9. Nick Okia, he's been very quiet here tonight, Chris, but he just got around Terry Foster to take over 11th position. And there's been some good racing back here. Brian McCrae, Corey Sherman, the Shermanator, trying to get around Big Daddy. Hasn't been able to do it yet. Kind of just went back to following here for a little bit, but I don't think we're done seeing the Shermanator peak there on Brian McCrae.
Less than 25 miles to go here from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And the action has been very good. Only 1 caution because of an incident on field. 3 total altogether. 2 for stage-ending victories. Both of them for the 24 of Joseph Tice.
Now back here just watching Corey Sherman, Chris. He was able to get around Brian McCrae. And now he's starting to pull away a little bit. He's starting to catch up to his teammate, Terry Foster, who's all over the back bumper of Nick Okie. Foster looking on the inside of Okie's number 9 right now, Chris, as they head into the corner. Man, that 9 is looking pretty feisty out there right now. He's looking fast.
Yeah, he is. And Terry is doing everything he can to try and get around him. Let's keep in mind, guys, just a couple of cars ahead of him is 10th spot. So these guys are racing hard to get inside of that top 10 with 8 laps to go. Marquis Smith on the hot seat. And he's doing it with old tires. Oh, look at the back end come out. Ooh, man, Marquis has got a handful in that 21. Oh, the 86 might be moving again, Rick, as he's to the inside of Corey Sherman. The 86 looking to try and get a spot back from his teammate. No team rules here, bud. Just don't crash each other.
That's right. At this point, Chris, it's all, drivers. Let me tell you, somebody else making moves. Rick Thompson broke out of the top 5 to take over 4th position from Powell, and he's been putting a lot of pressure on Kilroe's number 41 Daddy-O's machine. Rick Thompson not finished here with 7 laps left to go.
Oh, Rick Thompson doing a fantastic job here tonight. He's right back where he started, Rick, but throughout most of this race, he's been outside of the top 5, so good to see him up there. As Rick Thompson running in 4th position. Let's take a look in on your race leader. It is still Tice. And the 88 of Jamie Walker is trying everything he can to try and get to the back bumper. Rick, look at him push to the corner. The 88 is doing everything he can to get there. And Tice is defending every opportunity. The gap just 0.2 of a second. And it is just closing a little bit, especially at the end of the straightaways. So the draft is the 88's best friend right now, trying to get to the back bumper. Jamie Walker trying to steal one here away at Indianapolis. Tice that time coming out of turn 4 goes a little sideways. Don Kilroe back up to the 3rd spot. Thompson not able to hold on to it.
Now, just like that, Chris, we only have 5 laps left to go. Jamie Walker still trying to do everything that he possibly can to catch the 24. Rick Thompson still keeping his eyes on the 41. They've opened up a little bit of a gap there from Powell.
And how about Nick Okie? He has found himself in the top 10, Rick. he was able to get around Marquis Smith. Unfortunately for Smith, he's down 2 positions since the last time we checked in. He's back in the 12th spot. Corey Sherman was able to get around him, and now the 86 of Terry Foster looks to try and do the same. Foster is looking to have himself a good night here, and he needs it after last week, but man, up front, it is still, with 4 laps to go, Rick, gonna be a battle for the race lead. Tice is running everything. Oh, look at the action inside of the steering, on the steering wheel through the front windshield. Tice was sawing on that thing to keep it going straight.
Yeah, I jumped into the cockpit just as that happened, Chris, and you're right. I mean, his arms have to be tired. Hopefully his force feedback on his rig is not too high, because if it is, I mean, he's only got 4 laps left to go, but his arm's going to be getting tired.
I'm getting tired just watching. I'm telling you straight up. I'm sitting here sweating. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm into this one good. Yeah. Coming out of turn 4 now is Tice. Down this long front stretch. Jamie Walker has lost a little bit of time. It's 0.3 of a second now, Rick. So Walker needs to try and figure this one out. With 3 laps to go, he doesn't have a lot of time.
No, that door is definitely closing, Chris. But I'm looking at the difference of the wheel movements, and Walker very smooth on his wheel. I mean, he fights it a little bit. He's trying to use that white line, as we saw earlier in the race, to gain a little momentum on the 24. But right now, nobody can catch Tice.
Well, the gap is still very even, 0.3 of a second. Walker trying everything he can. He's using the draft. He's holding on to the throttle just a little bit longer. He's doing everything he can, Rick. But the 88 starting to go away a little bit, it seems, as the gap this time through going to be a little bit bigger, maybe around 0.4 of a second when they cross the bricks. And this time by, it's going to be popsicle sticks in the air for Joseph Tice. 2 laps to go, 5 miles for Joseph Tice to try and win the 3rd race he's been a part of here at Blazing Pedals. Will he go 3 for 3? We're going to find out here in about a lap and 3/4.
Chris, while that was going on, Corey Sherman fell way back. Well, not way back, but he fell quite a few positions there. Car got loose, and he actually mowed the grass a little bit. Unfortunate night again for Corey Sherman, right now in 17th position.
Well, we're going to go back and see what happened. And unfortunately, we missed the lawnmower effect. Oh, no, we caught it. There it is. Yeah, he's just mowing the grass. It was a little bit long there. It happens. White flag clinched in the flagman's hand, and it is falling over Joe Tice. 2.5 miles to go to try and win Indianapolis. Can Jamie Walker get there? The gap 0.4 of a second, and Walker doesn't seem to have anything there for Tice right now, Rick. The 24 is on a rail.
Yeah, he really is, Chris. I mean, he's definitely working that steering wheel back and forth, doing what he has to do, but obviously Tice likes a loose race car because he's having a ball with it.
Tice going into turn 3, holding on. Now entering to turn 4 for the last time here tonight. Joseph Tice looking to win the 3rd race he's been involved with here at the Blazing Pedals, live on turn 3. Oh no, the 24 got loose. The 88's gonna take the win. Jamie Walker for the win. Holy cow.
Wow.
Tice falls all the way back to 3rd spot as Dalton Kilroe was able to get around him. What a finish. It's going to be Walker, Kilroe, and Tice, your top 3.
I'm showing Tice still in 2nd position, though.
We're going to let it all straighten out, Rick, but my goodness. Oh, how disappointing for Tice. Woo. Oh, Tim, if you left, you missed it. As the 88 of Jamie Walker somehow, some way, wins this one. Tice is showing third in my scoring and timing, and we're going to call it that way. Dalton Kilrow in second spot. Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to step away for just a moment. We're going to get those post-race interviews set and ready to go live here from Indianapolis. Don't go away, because you're going to miss it if you do. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Turn 3 Racing Network. Rick, we just saw something. I don't even know what to say. It was incredible, is the only thing I can say. Third place runner, the 24, Joseph Tice. And it looks like there may have been a little something to it. Let's find out right now as we talk to the driver of the 24. Joe Tice, this is Chris and Rick up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
All right, bud. Well, we have you in our scoring and timing as a third place runner. What in the heck happened in that last lap?
Oh man, heartbreaker. I was pushing really hard that last run, and Jamie was right on me, keeping me on my toes. And I looked at my fuel with about 3 laps to go, and it said 3 laps. And I'm like, okay, I'll probably run out just before the stripe. And coming off of 4, it sputtered once, and that was all she wrote. So I was just a passenger down the front straightaway.
Oh man, so just slightly short on fuel. Otherwise, a perfect night for you, Joseph, here on your third entry into the series. It was stage 1, it was stage 2, and it was looking like you were going to take the win at the white flag, man. What a heartbreaker for you. Who do you got on that 24 that you need to thank?
Yeah, I'm going to have to drink some Mountain Dew after that. It hurts a little more after you remember stage 1 and stage 2. But yeah, thank Pride Outdoor Network and Dr. Squatch. Thank you guys for broadcasting. Thanks Mark and Sam for putting this league on. And, I really have a lot of fun with these guys. And, heartbreaker. But, it happens. It's racing sometimes.
It certainly is, bud. Thank you very much for coming on up to us here in the booth. I know after a heartbreaker like that, the last thing you want to do is talk about it, but good on you for doing it, and congratulations on your third place run, bud.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
Joseph Tice, driver of the number 24, finishing it up in second spot. Rick, I believe you caught up to our second place finisher, one Mr. Dalton Kilrow.
Dalton Kilrow, driver of the number 41 Daddy O's machine. You got Rick Chris up in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
10-4.
Damn, second place. You had a better race this week than you did last week, man. That's exactly what we expected out of you. Congratulations on coming in second. Run us through the race a little bit.
Well, it was mainly me just trying to, preserve my tires at least a little bit, so that way I wasn't dog crap towards the end of the stages and ends of fuel runs and stuff like that. That last caution right there was like just about perfect timing. I wish it had maybe come out about a lap sooner, because then Tice and Jamie both would have been running out coming into the white instead of the checker, and I might have been able to snap me one. But I'll take beating Tice at the line by 6 inches for P2.
Yeah, I mean it was close enough that my scoring actually didn't even register it. I had you still in third, but Chris was like, "No, check iRacing." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So man, what a heck of a run! I mean, fuel strategy has come into play a few races here this season. So I'm glad you were able to get back up here. I mean, you did good. You were up 6 positions from the start of the race, so congratulations on that, bud. Is there anybody on that 41 you'd like to thank?
Well, as I normally do, I got to thank Daddy-O's Barbershop for being my sponsor for the league. TRJkarting.com, Top Fly PC, Dr. Squatch Soap, you guys for the broadcast, the Pride Outdoor Network. They're awesome. I just love scrolling through all the shows and stuff they got on Hulu and Amazon Fire and stuff like that. Mark and Sam for sitting up in the admin booth and watching over us knuckleheads. And yeah, everybody else on the track for keeping it clean for most of the race.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great race, man. Hey, listen, congratulations. Next week, we head to Kentucky for 161 laps. How do you feel about that?
Well, if I do say so myself, I got a little confidence from last night. We had another league run just about, little longer than we're going to be running next week. And I was able to pull out the dub in that league, and we run these same cars, same fuel, all that stuff. So it's definitely going to be a fun race. Just going to kind of see how it goes when we get there.
I noticed that post there that you got that win, so congratulations. That's why I wanted to leave you with that. So good luck, man, and congratulations on second.
Thank you.
And that was the 41 of Dalton Kilroy, bringing it home in second spot. That leaves us with one other driver to talk to. That's our race winner, the number 88 of Jamie Walker. Jamie, Chris, and Rick up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys. Go ahead.
Well, bud, I don't know exactly how it, well, I do know how it happened, but man, we're going to call it a little luck here. You were 0.3 of a second behind Tice and not gaining any ground. And then all of a sudden, you come around turn 4 and he pops out of the way. You come across the line as your race winner. Let's talk about that race, Jamie.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be real tight on fuel that whole run there, and I just figured, you know what, I'm going to stay behind him, keep pressure on him. I could save a little bit of fuel by, running in that draft, and sure enough, he ran out coming out of 4. I had enough fuel to make it across the line anyway. I'm out now, but I had enough, just enough.
Yeah, so no victory lap for you today. I know you like to do that Polish victory lap out there in the 88. It was a good race. You didn't win any stages here tonight, but that second time, the second stage, you were pretty darn close. You were up 21 spots, so you got the most gain out of the race. You were the hard charger, and overall, it's a pretty good night for the 88 team.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I mean, like I said, I was on vacation. I just made it back here just in time for the start of the race. Drove 500 miles to get here and drove another one. So I'm kind of wore out, but it turned out pretty good. I just figured I'd take my time, run my way through the field, and it happened out that way.
Oh, absolutely, bud. Who do you got on the 88 that you need to thank?
Of course, Tim. He put TRJ Karting on here. Can't thank him enough. You guys up in the booth, you guys doing a great job. Blazing Pedals for putting the season on. Mark Arthur building some awesome setups, man. Can't thank him enough. And of course, Skittles.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations on the race win. Again, just chalk up another one here for the 88 team. Jamie Walker going to be your race winner here tonight. He goes back down to Skittles victory lane here on a Sunday night, Rick, and that's going to close it out for us. Only one more bit of business to do. Let's go ahead and throw the results out there for everybody to see. Maybe. Okay, yeah, here we go. Jamie Walker going to be your race leader. And winner here tonight, Dalton Kilroy, Joe Tice, your top 3. Then it's Jason Powell, Rick Thompson with a good run out of his number 76 to finish in 5th spot. Brian Dees, another gentleman with a good run, 6th spot for him. Taylor the Butcher Benjamin, Dakota Todd, Aaron Bockover, Nick Okie round out the top 10. Terry Foster with a good night running in 11th spot at the line. Brian McRae with a good run for the 35 in 12th spot. Ty Morosco, Brad Collins, Corey Sherman, David Bennett, Marquis Smith with a disappointing finish in 17th spot, doing it on old tires. And then we've got Corey Rutherford in 18th spot. In 19th spot, it's going to be Derek Garrison, Noah Van Hoot in 20th, Joshua Rutherford 21st, Derek Paulson 22nd, the Kid, the Hurricane, Ian Habiuk, not having the night that he wanted at all. Rick finishing 23rd spot, Patrick Abrahamson in 24th, Fred Thompson 25th, Casey Campbell picking up the rear of the field here tonight, and that Speed Mafia machine finishing in 26th position. And what a race here tonight, coming down to fuel here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Yeah, it was a great race, Chris. Nice, clean. Only a couple cautions came out besides the stage. So chalk up another great race, and I'm looking forward to Kentucky next week.
As am I. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for tuning in to the Turn 3 Racing Network live here on YouTube. We will see you again next week.